Hi everyone, today I'm out and about with the Ranica MIR 35 and I am going to start my roll off by coming to this museum here. This is the Natural History Museum of Oxford. It's one of my favourite museums and yeah, let's go and have a look inside. Hopefully it's not too busy and get a few images, see how they come out. So I think I'm done in the museum because it's getting a bit too busy. There's lots of school kids coming. There's lots of school trips. And I'm going to take the Ranica somewhere else. So I've been playing about this bridge, just going under it. Excuse the wind, it's very windy today. So I thought I'd get some images of this bridge. As the flooding has receded, it's a little bit muddy, but I've got some access good on it. I've got a pinhole, I've got the 35 when it's already cooking something. Get onto the, let's go and find it because it's near the end of its exposure. The image is going to be something like that. So I gave it 4 minutes. 4 minutes and 400 ISO film should be fine. Yeah, I think I'm done here. I think that's enough images. It's more about having fun. It's more therapeutic for me just to take random images now and again whilst I see them. I don't want to overload my roll of film on just one subject. And you know, this bridge is going to be here, so I can get another image later on. Maybe something down here. Ooh. One day. So I think I'm going to do a little selfie. I try to do a selfie on each roll I do, just for a bit of a laugh. And it's just for my own amusement. Anyway, let's do this. So I actually thought I finished my roll, but I hadn't. I've actually got one image left, so I'm going to have a little walk around this housing estate and see if I can finish my roll off. This was kind of cool. I might do this through the gates, nice and low. The other thing I was thinking of going to is there's an overpass. I was thinking I might do the overpass. So the thing is, I was going to do this when there was lots and lots of bikes there, but today's Sunday, so nobody's come to work today down the old BMW plant, mini plant, sorry. So maybe I'll do the overpass. So I want to get a bit of the overpass, the mini plant, and some of these cars, but when the other cars come round that way. So I'll get it ready. And just wait. There you go. So a lot of these cars got their lights on, so hopefully it's going to cause some streaks. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I think that'll do. So let's see how that turned out. All what is left to do now is for me to go home and develop it. Contrary to what I've said in past videos, I'm actually now developing my own black and white film because some of the labs which I've been sending my film off to have been getting more and more unreliable, and it's more expensive to do it that way. So I decided to start developing black and white film, not colour, because colour chemicals are just too expensive for me. And yeah, so I'm just using a Patterson tank and do it in my bathroom or toilet sometimes. So yeah, let's head off back home and I'll show you what I do when I develop my films. So before I go and start developing, I thought I'd show you the Patterson tank. So I've got a quite large one. It fits 2 35mm film or one 120 film, and you have these reels, and in these reels you've got these little ball bearings. And what you're supposed to do in the dark, where these triangles are, you're supposed to load the film in, and then when it catches the ball bearings, when it goes to about here, then you do this and it winds it on in the dark until you get all the way there. Take it off the canister for 35mm and keep going until it's, you know, relatively inside. You get your thing, you put it in the Patterson tank, you seal it, light tight it, and then you can develop it in the day or with the lights on or whatever, because this is light tight. Now, how I load film, and I'm going to show you first of all with the 120 film. When I've got the lights on, and or even in the day, because it's kind of tricky to fumble around trying to load film into these spools, what I do is I take an old piece of 120 film, some of that I'm not, you know, happy with, or any old bit of discarded one, and with the lights on I slide this in. Now there you go, and you put it in like so, slide it on, and then wind it on a little bit. So now what I've got here is something to feel in the dark when I put the 120 film in, for example. So imagine this is in the dark and I've got something to rest on it, and then I just rest it on the top in the dark, slide it on a little bit, make sure it goes through, take the old one away, and there you go, and then you're quite free to start winding it on. So that's what I do for 120 film. Now for 35mm, so what I do for 35 is I don't let the film go all the way into the canister at the end when I rewind it. I always try to leave a little bit of leader. What's great about this camera is that you'll always have a leader because you have to attach it to the other side here. Taking it off. So I've got my leader. You don't want this bit here. I want to get rid of that. So I will just snip off this section here. So that it's nice and level. And then I would feed it in, or start to feed it in just a little bit, so it's all ready to go. And then I switch the lights off, and then I start to load it up onto here. Then once it's all loaded, then I make sure I have everything laid out. So for example, I have it like this usually in the dark. I have the potty here. I have this already on the spool ready to go, because you can still easily just do this with it. And so yeah, it's usually in this order. Do this, put it in, put that, and then I'm ready to go. So I hope that makes sense. But that's how I do it. Different people got different ways of doing it, but this is how I do it, and I found it the most easiest thing for me to do. When I first started doing it, it was a little bit, nerve-wracking, loading up film. You get a bit concerned about it, but after doing it a couple of times, it just becomes quite, second nature really. So, yep, it's something I probably should have done long ago. So, I'm going to get my Kentmere Pan 400 loaded up into the Patterson tank, ready for development, and let's get this developed. So I've got my film loaded up in the Patterson tank. I've got microfen is what I will be using to develop this. It's just currently warming up because I need it at 20 Celsius. And I got my fix. So what I use for my stop is just basically some water in a jug with a bit of vinegar in it. So what I use is a massive dev chart app, and on that app you can basically choose your film, choose your developer, and then it gives you the development times and how long to leave fix for and all that kind of jazz. So if you're starting out, it's probably one of the best things to get is this massive dev chart app for your phone, and yeah, it just makes things a lot easier. So we're at 20, which is good. That's good. So room temperature. Now dev chart on here tells me it's 8 minutes. Now with this microphone I'm using stock, so it's reusable. Now they do say that every time you use it you should add a bit of extra time for your next development. But saying that, last time I did that it was super contrasty, so I may well just stick with the 8 minutes rather than adding an extra half a minute to it. So I'll do that. I tend to use this wet room because we've got an extractor fan and I've got 2 windows for ventilation, because I share my house and the chemical smell and all that. So get your lid off, let's get started. Pour it in, get it right in there. Trying to make sure I don't get any sediment. Lid on, start it up. There we go. This is how you agitate. And what I usually do for every minute is go 1, 2, 3, turn, 1, 2, 3, turn, 1, 2, 3, turn. But at the start you have to do it for the 60 seconds. Nearly there. give it a tap to make sure the air bubbles raise to the top. Okay, it's ready to come up and it's going to start in a minute. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's how I do it. So I'm not going to subject you to the whole 8 minutes, so I'm going to just pause the video now, and then when I get to do the stop and fix, I'll show you that and then see what the negatives come out like. So I've got my stop. Just a bit of vinegar. Pour that back in. And move that aside for the minute. Get my stop in. And then you just agitate, making sure the film is getting all covered with the stop bath. You can buy stop baths, but I found vinegar just does the same thing. That's white vinegar, distilled white vinegar. Pour that away down the sink. So I can get the fix ready. Give this a bit of a wash. Just like that. And last but not least, just put the fix in. Push it all down, make sure it's tight, and continue. And again, agitate. If you want, you can keep yourself fit by dancing around whilst you're doing it. That's how I do it. Turning it whilst I'm doing that. So fix is 5 minutes, so again I'm going to stop the video and then we can see what the results are like. Fingers crossed. So the last stage is basically giving it a wash. Now some people use distilled water. I don't, I just use the tap water. I found that the tap water here is not too bad. So you don't really get much streaks on the film when it dries. So we'll just leave it running. We're basically done. So all we need to do now is pour it all out. This is the exciting bit. Let's bring that over there. Get the reels up. Something I should have pointed out is that I always put both reels in. It's just to stabilise it a bit more. Take it off and let's have a look. Oh, there you go. Got yourself some negatives. What I tend to do, I tend to squeegee it down with my fingers a couple of times, because as I said, the water's not too bad in this area like that, and then I will hang it up on a peg. I use a coat hanger there, and then I have a paper clip on the top, and then I go all the way down, and I have a paper clip down the bottom to keep the film nice and straight whilst it's drying. And I tend to let it dry in room temperature. I don't want it to dry too quickly, because that's how you will get watermarks. You want it to dry relatively slowly. And yep, and that's it. And then all what's left to do is for me to scan the images. So I'm going to leave you now with the images after they've been scanned, and hope you enjoyed today's video, and until next time, bye bye for now.